Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about the relationship between physical exercise and the consistency therein and the spiritual health and the emotional health of your well-being. Now, for those of you that do not know, about 2 years ago, I was almost 200 pounds, and I am now sitting at about 158, 159, and the way that like people ask me sometimes that I know now, they're like, well, what did you do? Like, what did you do different? Did you just do a bunch of push-ups or something? It's like, well, to be quite honest, like the main thing I stopped doing was was starting to run more and actually lifting the weights and not eating near as many cookies and ice cream. And I don't want to consider myself a fitness influencer or anything by that means, but I do want to talk about the relationship and the importance of physical health and the consistency of it being more important than the intensity. Because sometimes the intensity of things, just like in life in general, if you're working like 3 12 to 16 hour shifts in a row, and then you get how many days off usually? You get about 3 or 4 days off from work, right? If you're doing that kind of work. It's kind of the same thing with working out. You know, if you are working out at a super high intensity for a long duration of time, then over time your body's going to start breaking down. And I noticed this because I wasn't stretching properly. I wasn't doing a lot of I was just going to go. Like, I didn't have a personal trainer at the time. Still don't. I like doing my own thing. But I've had a lot of subscriber requests on this topic, talking about whether or not I can talk about my own workout routine and everything like that. So my workout routine now is much different than it was 2 years ago. But my current workout routine is to run with a 10 to 20 mile or 10 to 20 pound bag on my back for a half mile or so. And then I run anywhere between 2 to 5 miles. And this is every morning at 4:30. I wake up and I get to the gym at about 5 o'clock, give or take 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how much I don't want to put on my shoes in the morning, but I still end up going. And then after any kind of cardio, sometimes I've been switching off and on like every so often between like the elliptical for a certain amount of time, or bike riding, or the Stairmaster, just to get kind of a flux of different kinds of cardio. And then I usually lift weights for anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I don't care how long it takes me to finish those 2 to 5 miles. It's just I'm going to complete that amount of miles that day. And sometimes when I go into the run, if I'm feeling good that day and I'm feeling like, okay, I can go at a higher intensity, then I'm going to run 4 miles or 5 miles before the workout, like the actual lifting of weights. But cardio has been super important to me over my journey of losing weight, because it's taught me a lot more discipline. I've never liked cardio. Fucking hate cardio. Still fucking hate cardio. but I got to do it. And this is still an aspect of my physical, this is just an aspect of my physique that I'm still wanting to perfect and to really work on more. I know we're not going to get to that perfect spot, but I'm going to try my best to ensure that I can stay at a high endurance level for a long time. And I always, in between like weightlifting, during that session of weightlifting, I'm always doing some kind of push-ups, whether it's just regular push-ups or clapping push-ups where you push up and you clap your hands. And I always do pull-ups as well. I always make sure to do push-ups and pull-ups into my workouts. And no matter if it's leg day or not, I always try to do at least 50 push-ups and at least 30 pull-ups. It may not all be in a row, but I'm going to do that amount during that weightlifting session. And then also, it really depends on the day for me. Like, I don't really have a set schedule of like what day I do what. I usually, because I go to the gym 7 days a week and there's like 3 to 4 main body parts that I work, I usually do chest and tries at least one day, twice, maybe twice. And then I'll do back and buys, shoulders, and then just shoulders on the weightlifting day. And I'll do an hour or 45 minutes to an hour of just side lateral raises. And then I'll usually go into some kind of leg day. Some days I focus on hardcore quads, and then other days I focus more on glutes and hamstrings. And there's a variety of exercises that I've learned from this new gym that I go to. Started going to the new gym in about December last year, and since I've joined this gym, there's a lot of really fit people at this gym. Physically, they're really fit, and I learned a lot from them. I'm still learning a lot from them, and it's really, really, really helpful to be around fit people that actually want to be there. They're not doing it because they have to be there. They're doing it because they genuinely, intrinsically want to be there. And that's the same way that I am now. Like, it's almost like brushing my teeth, going to the gym. It's just something I do now. And in fact, I like training. I like training a lot. I like just being in the gym and putting forth energy to something. And it really helps make my days just so much more pleasant. And I've always been into sports and such, but I was never really truly into like a diet, like actually eating well. And that's something I've really started to work more on over the past few months, is really trying to eat a lot better. And especially over the past few weeks, all I've eaten, my diet has consisted mainly of chicken and rice, and I usually put some paprika and some chili powder on the chicken. And then as soon as it's mixed up with the rice, I put a little bit of hot sauce, and then I have some Greek yogurt on the side, just a little bit, probably about 50 to 100 calories worth of Greek yogurt on the side. And because it's high in protein and it's plain Greek yogurt. And so that's like my first meal. I have chicken and rice again for my second meal. My third meal, I have either one egg and about 3 servings of egg whites, or I have 2 eggs and 2 servings of egg whites. And the reason for this is that eggs are supposed to really help with testosterone as well. And of course, it has a lot of good fats in there too. I'm not always going to, I'm trying to transition out of just eating. I would like to transition more into egg whites only. And I usually put some salsa on there. And then for dinner, for my fourth meal, I'll usually have again, over the past month or so, at least a 8 to 10 ounce steak, and with some broccoli as well. And I'll have maybe a tablespoon of peanut butter afterward with a little bit of honey. And it depends on the day. I don't do that every day, but sometimes I do. And that's really been my diet plan for the last few weeks. And I'm not eating a lot of fruits or vegetables right now. I did used to have acai bowls almost every day from the coffee shop that I used to go to. And it was great. It was a healthy first meal choice of the day. But I'm no longer drinking coffee. I'm only drinking tea. And the reason for this is that I genuinely feel so much better in my whole body when I don't have just that overload of caffeine all the time. And plus, coffee kind of dehydrates you a lot easier. And that's another thing. Speaking of which, hydration. I usually have probably at least 1 to 2 liters of water per day now. And I don't drink hardly anything else other than maybe a Powerade. A Powerade, like the fruit punch Powerade Zero, was 0 calories in there. And between everything all together, between the chicken, rice, and steak and everything, and the eggs, I usually get anywhere between about 150 to 200 grams of protein now. And, I also forgot to mention, I'll usually throw in a protein shake and then a protein bar somewhere in between there as well, just to get the extra protein and the calories too, because lifting weights, you're going to burn a lot of calories if you're doing it right, but it's also helpful to know one thing that's easy for me is to gain muscle and fat. I can gain fat and muscle pretty easily. But usually whenever I gain any kind of muscle, I also gain a lot of fat. And so for me, the trick that I'm trying to do over the past few weeks is to stay consistent with my eating. So I'm eating every 3 hours, practically. I was doing intermittent fasting for a couple weeks there, but I think that just for recovery purposes for me, I was having a pretty hard time recovering, and I wasn't recovering as fast with intermittent fasting on this diet. So I'm trying a few different new things. And this is one thing that you have to just go on your own accord, is listening to your body. I know that sounds really hippy dippy, but it's like the yoga instructors say, just listen to your body. Listen to your body. It's like, what the fuck does that even fucking mean? Listen to your body, right? Well, it actually is very wise advice. It's actually very insightful advice, because you genuinely have a connection to your body. And when you can feel these kinds of connections, you'll be a lot more better off in the long run. But I haven't, apart from holidays and when the gym's closed, I have not taken a day off of the gym for almost a year to the day now. And the reason for that is because I was once a fat piece of shit. And I do not ever want to be feeling like that again. And all of those people online and everything telling you, men, that you can have a dad bod and you'll get just as many good women as you want, that's fucking false. Do you know how many women I've attracted now because of the weight that I've lost? All of the girls that were once like, oh, I'm too good for you, now they're like, oh, shit, he's taking care of himself. Oh. And then they try to come back into your life and you're like, no, thank you. No, thank you. You can take whatever you got over there. I'm going to have this over here, because I like the way that those cherries over there look a lot more than any kind of cherry that you got, girl. I don't know why I said cherry, but that's what came to mind. But yeah, it's like the quality of women you're attracting is going to be better as well. And especially for women watching this, it is so important for you to maintain your fitness. Like, you're the one that's going to carry the babies. So having a good body to do that is going to be so important. And really, what a decent man would want. I don't like to call like high value. I don't like to use that term. We'll say man of God. We'll say man of God. What a man of God would want is to have you be able to carry his child in a healthy manner. And to do that, you have to be healthy. You have to choose healthy decisions. You have to make healthy decisions. And in those healthy decisions, there will be a lot of blessings. And it's very evident, it's very clear that a lot of the fit women that genuinely want to be fit have better outcomes in their relationships in life. It's not always a connection between the mind, body, and soul, or it's not always it is a connection between the mind, body, and soul, but it's not an indicative response or objective to correlate the physical health with the spiritual health, because I've met very physically healthy people at my gym that I go to that are mentally fucked. They are fucked, and there's no point in trying to save them. They're a lost cause. But it's not that they don't look fit. Like, they're very fit. They definitely know what to do to get their body right. But they do it out of vanity and not out of true, genuine desire for health. And it's definitely true for me that the brain fog and the slow thinking has gone away. Like, I didn't realize how slow I was really thinking when I was almost 200 pounds. And now that I'm down to this weight and making these different kinds of lifestyle choices, it's like, wow, I'm just rapid fire. I can think so much clearer. My creativity is so much like more quality. And to all of my enemies, it's like I can metaphysically rip their heart out and show it to them. Oh, and that's a good feeling. Because I'm very competitive like that. And again, I'm speaking metaphorically, but that is the feeling that I like very much now that I'm to this point. So if anybody has any additional questions, please comment below. And be sure to give this video a like. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. And if anybody's interested in getting more of their physical health on point, then please reach out and contact me at regalchange@gmail.com. I'll put the link down below. I do have a Godlike Savage workshop on my website, regalchange.com. And that is where we go into all the different kinds of details of your spiritual, emotional, and physical health. And we create a whole plan for you to get on track spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So with that being said, peace be with you. Till next time.